Hello and welcome to the first of my Russian history and general knowledge quizzes. The idea is to do one of these each week and hopefully in a reasonably fun sort of way revise the Russian history syllabus. So there'll be 10 questions of Russian history followed by 10 questions of general knowledge. I'll read the questions out twice to give you time to write down an answer and then I'll go through the questions so you can mark your own and see how many you get. Okay, so let's start with the Russian history questions. These are about Russia before the revolution of 1917, so late Tsarist Russia. Okay, so question 1 is how large was the pre-1914 Russian Empire? And this is multiple choice. So option A is 8 million square miles, option B 9 million square miles, and option C 10 million square miles. So that's the size of the pre-1914 Russian Empire, 8, 9 or 10 million square miles. Question 2. What was the location of a massacre of striking gold miners in 1912? It was in Siberia, but I want the precise location. So the location of the massacre of striking gold miners in 1912. That's question 2. Question 3. Can you tell me the name of the Tsarist secret police? So I'd like the name of the Tsarist secret police for question 3. Moving on, question 4. The 1905 revolution followed a catastrophic Russian defeat against which country? So the 1905 revolution followed a catastrophic Russian defeat against which country? Question 5. What was the name of the new Russian parliament established as a consequence of the 1905 revolution? So I'm looking for the name of the new Russian parliament established for the first time as a consequence of the 1905 revolution. That's question 5. Question 6. Before the first meeting of this new parliament, what did Tsar Nicholas II issue in an attempt to reaffirm his autocracy? So before the first meeting of the new parliament in 1906, what document did Tsar Nicholas II issue in an attempt to reaffirm his autocracy? Okay, that was question 6. Question 7. Question 7 and 8 are about opposition parties. So the first one, question 7, one of the liberal opposition parties, the Constitutional Democrats. How are they better known? So question 7, how were the Constitutional Democrats better known? Question 8, which opposition party had evolved from groups that tried to organise and improve the position of the peasantry going back to the 1860s? So it's formed, late 1890s or 1901, perhaps. So which opposition party drew its support from the peasantry? It was a loose association of groups that had come together to improve the position of the peasantry. Some wanted constitutional means, others were more violent. Question 9. What was the name of the revolutionary newspaper founded by Lenin during his time in exile? So the name of the revolutionary newspaper founded by Lenin during his time in exile. And then question 10, the last Russian history question this week. Which former friend of Lenin's became the leader of the Mensheviks following the split in the Social Democrats in 1903? So which former friend of Lenin's became leader of the Mensheviks following the split in the Social Democrats in 1903? Okay, so that's question 10. So that's all of the Russian history questions for this week. We're going to move on now to general knowledge. So quite an eclectic mix of topics for these questions. So question 11. Which actor links Narcos, Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian? So which actor links Narcos, Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian? That's question 11. Question 12, geography. How well do you know South America? What is the capital of Bolivia? So for question 12, I want to know the capital of Bolivia. Okay, question 13 is sport. Who has captained the men's England rugby union team the most times? The number is 59. So who has captained the England rugby union team 59 times? That's question 13. Question 14, film. Can you name Daniel Craig's first Bond film? And for a bonus point, can you tell me the year it was released? So the name of Daniel Craig's first Bond film, and for a bonus point, the year it was released. That's question 14. Okay, question 15, we have another geography question. What is the only US state that borders only one other US state? So it has to be attached to another state, but only one. What's its name? So the name of any of the US state that borders only one other. That's question 15. Question 16, we have an ancient history question. Which Thracian gladiator led a rebellion against the Romans between 73 and 71 BC? Very well known. So the Thracian gladiator who led a rebellion against Rome between 73 and 71 BC. Question 7. Food and drink. Next topic. Which of the following kinds of pasta means little worms in Italian? Is it A, spaghetti? Is it B, fidolini? Or C, vermicelli? So, type of pasta which means little worms in Italian: A, spaghetti; B, fidolini; C, vermicelli. A, B or C? Question 17. Question 18, music. Which mathematical symbol was the title of Ed Sheeran's debut album released back in 2011? So the mathematical symbol, which is the title of Ed Sheeran's first album of 2011. Question 9, Shakespeare. Which character says the line, "A plague on both your houses," in Romeo and Juliet? So, Romeo and Juliet, which character says, "A plague on both your houses"? That's question 19. And the last question is a question about the Old Testament. So, who is the oldest man in the Bible? The oldest man in the Bible. Apparently lived to be 969, which is pretty good going. Okay, that is the end of this week's questions. You may want to pause, reflect on your answers. I'm now going to go through the answers. So you might want to see how many you got. Okay, so the first question I asked you was how large was the pre-1914 Russian Empire? Was it, and the options were A, 8 million square miles, B, 9 million, or C, 10 million square miles? And the answer was A, 8 million square miles, which is significantly larger than Russia today. Question 2, the location of the massacre of striking gold miners in 1912. Well, that was the Lena River in Siberia. It was possibly from that river that Lenin took his name. Okay, question 3, the name of the Tsarist secret police, the Okhrana. Question 4, the 1905 revolution followed a catastrophic defeat against Japan. Question 5, the name of the new, the first Russian parliament established as a consequence of the 1905 revolution, the Duma. The Duma, which is the name the today's Russian parliament also shares. Question 6, before the first meeting of the Duma, Tsar Nicholas II issued the fundamental laws in an attempt to reaffirm his autocracy. So the fundamental laws is the answer I was looking for there. Question 7, the Constitutional Democrats are better known as the Cadets. So the Cadets is the answer to question 7. And question 8, the opposition party tried to organise and improve or formed from groups which had tried to organise and improve the position of the peasantry, from which it drew most of its support, were the Social Revolutionaries. Social Revolutionaries was 8. Question 9, the newspaper founded by Lenin during his time in exile was Iskra, which means spark. And the final Russian history question, question 10, the former friend of Lenin's, who became leader of the Mensheviks, following the split in the Social Democratic Party, engineered by Lenin, of course, in 1983, was Julius Martov. So Lenin was leader of the Bolsheviks, his former friend, Julius Martov, leader of the Mensheviks. The general knowledge questions. So question 11, the actor who links Narcos, Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian is Pedro Pascal. He plays agent Javier Peña in Narcos, Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, and the title role in The Mandalorian. 12, the capital of Bolivia is La Paz. 3, it's Will Carling, who's the most capped England rugby union captain, 59 times as captain. 14, Daniel Craig's first Bond film was Casino Royale, and it was released in 2006. Question 5, the only US state which borders one other state is Maine in New England. Maine borders New Hampshire and Canada, but no other US states. Now, if you thought it was, say, Alaska, that actually borders no other US state, it only borders Canada. Yeah, Maine's the only one that borders just one other. Okay, question 6, the Thracian gladiator who led a slave rebellion against Rome between 73 and 71 BC is, of course, Spartacus. And 17, the kinds of pasta, which means little worms, like 83 options, spaghetti, fettuccine, and vermicelli, and it was a third one there, C, vermicelli, that is the right answer. Question 8, the mathematical symbol that was the title of Ed Sheeran's first album in 2011 was plus. The character, question 19, the character who says a plague on both your houses in Romeo and Juliet is Mercutio. And finally, the oldest man in the Bible is Methuselah. So Methuselah, who lived apparently to be 969 years old. And that's it for this week. I'll aim to put a new video up next week, again with a mixture of Russian history and general knowledge questions. Hope you've enjoyed that. That's it for now. Bye.